Right now, you're surrounded by animals, even if you don't notice them. Maybe a bird is singing outside your window. A dog is sleeping nearby. Maybe you're wearing leather shoes, eating eggs for breakfast, or watching a cat ignore everyone in your house. Animals feel like they've always been part of human life. But here's the strange part. Long before cities, long before farming, and long before humans became the only human species left on Earth, animals were already shaping our future. In fact, some scientists argue that without them, you might not exist at all. Because this isn't just a story about humans surviving. It's the story of how countless animals quietly tipped the balance in our favor, while every other human species disappeared. So the question is, how did animals help one group of humans become the last human standing? Let's go all the way back. About 7 million years ago, long before Homo sapiens, long before Neanderthals, even before stone tools, our distant ancestors lived in forests across Africa alongside monkeys, antelopes, elephants, giant cats, and birds that looked surprisingly familiar. Then the climate changed. Forests slowly shrank. Grasslands spread across huge parts of eastern Africa. For many animals, this was a disaster. For others, it was an opportunity. And for our ancestors, it changed everything. Instead of hiding in trees, they had to cross open landscapes filled with predators. Lions, hyenas, leopards, saber-toothed cats. Imagine stepping into a world where almost everything could eat you. Not exactly relaxing. To survive, early humans began watching animals more carefully than ever before. They learned where herds moved. They noticed which birds circled over fresh carcasses. They paid attention when monkeys suddenly screamed from nearby trees. Those alarm calls often meant one thing: danger. Modern studies of hunter-gatherers show that people still learn valuable information by reading animal behavior. And many researchers believe our ancestors relied on these natural warning systems for hundreds of thousands of years. Animals became living maps, living weather reports, living security alarms. Think about that. Before humans mastered nature, nature was teaching humans. Then came another breakthrough. Around 2.6 million years ago, the earliest known stone tools appear in places like Gona in Ethiopia. Researchers believe these sharp flakes weren't only used for hunting. At first, they were probably used to cut meat from carcasses left behind by lions and other predators. Imagine hearing vultures overhead. You run toward them. A lion has already eaten, but there's still meat, still marrow inside the bones, still fat. Those leftovers were pure survival. People often imagine ancient humans as fearless hunters, but for a very long time, they were incredibly clever thieves, and animals unknowingly supplied dinner. Here's where things become even more interesting. Large animals didn't just provide food. They changed our bodies. Meat and fat contain huge amounts of energy. Compared with chewing leaves all day, eating animal food gave growing brains access to a much richer fuel supply. Researchers like Leslie Aiello and Peter Wheeler proposed what's known as the expensive tissue hypothesis, suggesting that richer diets may have helped support larger brains while reducing the need for massive digestive systems. The debate continues today, but there's broad agreement on one point: animal foods became increasingly important during human evolution. Bigger brains meant better planning, better memory, better communication, and eventually, better survival. But here's the thing: having a smarter brain doesn't automatically make you the last human species alive. Something else had to happen. Around 400,000 years ago, the world wasn't home to just one kind of human. Neanderthals lived across Europe and Western Asia. The mysterious Denisovans occupied parts of Asia. Other ancient human relatives survived. Earth was crowded with humans, not just us. So why did only Homo sapiens remain? Here's what makes this so important. The answer may not be that we were the strongest, or even the smartest. It may be that we became the best at building relationships with animals. Take hunting. Evidence from sites such as Schöningen in Germany shows that ancient humans crafted sophisticated wooden spears hundreds of thousands of years ago. Later, Homo sapiens developed increasingly flexible hunting strategies. Instead of chasing one kind of animal forever, they adapted. Fish when rivers were full, birds during migrations, shellfish along coasts, small mammals when larger prey disappeared, reindeer during colder climates. This flexibility mattered enormously. If one food source vanished, another could replace it. Many large Ice Age animals eventually disappeared. Climate shifted again and again. People who depended on only one strategy struggled. People who understood many different animals had options. And options save lives. Then came perhaps the greatest partnership in human history: the wolf. Sometime at least 15,000 years ago, and perhaps much earlier according to some evidence, certain wolves began living closer to human camps. Not because humans planned it, because leftover food attracted curious wolves. The friendliest wolves gained easier meals. Humans gained early warning against predators. Over generations, both species changed. Those wolves slowly became dogs. It's difficult to overstate how important that partnership became. Dogs could smell danger, track wounded animals, help locate prey, protect camps, even provide warmth on freezing nights. No other human species is known to have formed such a lasting partnership with another predator. Two hunters became one team. That's a remarkable advantage. But animals didn't only help humans survive. They helped humans think. Watch a flock of birds. They know when to move. Watch ants. They solve problems together. Watch wolves. They hunt as coordinated groups. Humans constantly observe nature. Some of the world's earliest technologies likely borrowed ideas from animals. Hooks inspired by claws. Clothing inspired by fur. Shelters placed like nests in protected places. Migration routes copied from herd movements. Ancient people weren't trying to conquer nature. They were students of it. The classroom just happened to be outside. Then, around 12,000 years ago, another revolution began. Instead of simply following animals, humans started keeping them. Goats, sheep, cattle, pigs, chickens. This transformed everything. Food became more reliable. Milk appeared. Wool replaced constant hunting for hides. Fields could be plowed using animal power. Communities grew larger. Villages became towns. Towns became cities. Civilizations rose. Of course, this partnership came with costs. Living close to animals also exposed humans to new diseases. Scientists believe illnesses such as measles and smallpox ultimately evolved from diseases that crossed from domesticated animals into people. So animals gave us incredible advantages, but they also reshaped human history in painful ways. That's the trade-off. Even today, animals continue influencing us. Your fear of snakes, your instinct to notice a spider, the comfort many people feel around dogs, the excitement of spotting wildlife. These reactions aren't random. They're echoes of millions of years spent sharing the planet with other creatures. The story of humanity has never been only about humans. It's always been about relationships. Predators pushed us to become alert. Prey taught us patience. Birds revealed hidden food. Wolves became companions. Livestock built civilizations. Animals weren't just background characters. They were co-authors of our story. So here's the full picture. Changing climates forced our ancestors onto dangerous grasslands. Predators taught them awareness. Scavenging from animals helped feed growing brains. Learning animal behavior made hunting more flexible. Dogs became humanity's first great allies. Domesticated animals powered agriculture. Agriculture built civilizations. And civilization carried Homo sapiens into every corner of the planet. So the next time you hear birds outside, pet a dog, watch a herd of cattle, or even laugh at a stubborn goat on the internet, remember this. You're looking at the same kingdom of life that quietly helped your ancestors outlast every other human species. Not because animals wanted us to win, but because the humans who understood animals best often survived long enough to tell the story. And maybe that's one of the deepest truths about being human. We didn't become the last human species by standing apart from nature. We became the last by learning how to live with it. If you enjoy exploring the surprising origins of everyday human behavior, there are plenty more ancient stories waiting to uncover.